Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the Alabama-Auburn postgame show right here on Alabama at the Voice of College Football and on the Voice of College Football X account. And today I am doing the postgame show solo, and because I'm like, yeah, you know what, let's try it. Let's try it solo. But you know, it was a great game today. I mean, not as good as against Missouri or not as good against Georgia or LSU, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I mean, it's a great game today. But before we get started with the post game show, Black Friday is over, but Cyber Monday is coming up. And what you want to get is the disputed national champions college football's historical 1990s reset, written by Mark Rogers himself. And in this book, you're going to learn quite a lot about what happened in the 90s, what happened throughout, how the championship results should be questioned, how to correctly think through the scenarios, how decade changed sport, to appreciate the accomplishments of the teams that were not recognized as champions. This book provides an in-depth analysis of the changes, controversies, and outcomes that defined a decade of college football. Grab your copy now. And then you can come on in and check out Alabama at the Voice of College Football, where you, my friends, can get some top-notch quality content. And by that, you can become a Crimson Faithful member for $2.99 a month. And you can get a loyalty badge next to your name, a custom emoji to use in the comments of the live chat. For $4.99 a month, you get priority replies to comments and access to monthly hangout with yours truly, Johnny Burtz, and Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports by becoming a Saban disciple. And finally, you can connect on social media with us and give out content requests by becoming a Bear Bryant legend for $9.99 a month. And with that, you can give out any type of request. You want us to get more recruiting news, we'll get it for you. You want us to get a top-notch interview with somebody, we'll get it for you. You want us to do more videos on, like, say, classic game reactions, anything. Do it just by becoming a Bear Bryant legend for $9.99 a month. Neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow will stop us from fulfilling your content request right here on Alabama at the Voice College Football. Stay tuned for more. Alrighty, everybody. It was a wild ride, and it was a lot better than how we did against Oklahoma last week. Let me tell you, it was nuts. And the key to that was rushing yards. And what do we see? A lot of rushing yards today against Auburn. We had 201 rushing yards against Auburn. 104 from Jalen Milroe, 3 touchdowns. Jam Miller had some rushes as well. Yeah, and despite the fact that we had a lot of turnovers, we were able to force some turnovers on Auburn. We're lucky it was against Auburn and not somebody else. And that was wild in of itself. And a list I've come up with is how many rushing yards we had against the opponents that we lost to. When we lost to Oklahoma last week, we had 70 rushing yards. When we lost to Tennessee earlier this year, we had 75 rushing yards. When we lost to Vandy, we had 84 rushing yards. But when we had a top-notch game against Auburn today, we had 201 rushing yards. Running the ball is key. That's why you hear I forget his name, but Jermaine Funnymane, that's his name. That's why he's got that tagline, run the ball. That is key, especially for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And it helps too. It helped us against Missouri. It helped us against LSU. It helped us against Georgia and Wisconsin. And it's definitely helped us against the Auburn Tigers. And to tell you the truth, on Monday's edition of Crimson Tide Live, we weren't too sure of which Alabama we were going to get. Were we going to get the one that struck against Georgia or the one that let that big game go to their heads against Vandy, or the team that looked like a disaster against Oklahoma? Well, fortunately, I think being left out of the top 12 just by a little bit at 13 scared Alabama straight. Because we realized we better win this game or else we're out as a whole. We lose, we're out. And we did. And with this game, it is the longest winning streak for the Alabama Crimson Tide since the 1973 through 81 winning streak against Auburn. With Bear Bryant and Alabama were dominating the Auburn Tigers. Not only that, but Caleb DeBoer is the sixth coach in the history of the Iron Bowl since the resurrection of it in 1948 to win his first Iron Bowl. He is in line with Coach Harold Drew, Gene Stallings, Terry Bowden, Dennis Franchione, and Gus Malzahn. And we got Bama fan giving out a roll, Tide, roll. You got that right, Bama fan. Roll, Tide, roll. And we see, of course, Auburn had a good enough passing game today. They had 301 passing yards, but it was not enough. They were throwing interceptions all over the place. I mean, that trip play at one point during the game, that didn't work out for Auburn. They were looking like Charlie Brown at the pitcher's mound. It's like, well, what the heck is going on, Scoob? Did we forget to put our charger in? Well, fortunately, he did. And while that was happening, and just now when I was just talking about the playoff scenarios for the Alabama Crimson Tide, we needed some magic to happen. And we couldn't rely on Clemson, South Carolina, because the winner of that game was basically going to the playoffs. No questions asked. And South Carolina won today. They're in the playoffs. But I was just kind of asking myself, were we going to see a battle between Alabama and South Carolina for one of the playoff spots? But the thing is, we got that head-to-head win over South Carolina, and it was the last loss for them. They haven't lost games since. They should have beat us, but they did. But, again, that's no time for another day. South Carolina won. That's what happened. What else happened? Well, Miami got embarrassed by the Syracuse Orange at the Dome. And what happens during sloppy slates? Upsets usually come. And I've got a pretty good idea that the Tuesday rankings that are going to come out, I would say that Alabama is going to be 11th in the rankings. And we got Charles Everidge giving out a roll, Tide, roll, Tide, roll. Charles, let's go. But yes, we needed some help, and we got it. And I'm not saying that the 2024 Alabama team could win. I'm not. But it's a little bit similar to the 2017 national title team and the 1965 team. Why? Because we needed a lot of luck in those years. 2017, as you recall, a lot of you watched the Big Ten title game and you thought to yourself, please Ohio State beat Wisconsin so we could get into playoffs. What happens? Ohio State beats Wisconsin. We get into playoffs. 1965, we're fourth ranked in the nation, and we needed a lot of luck to happen. Number one, Michigan State lost to UCLA in a rematch against the Rose Bowl. Number 2, Arkansas lost in the Cotton Bowl to the LSU Tigers. And the number 3, Nebraska Cornhuskers, well, we beat them to a pulp in the Orange Bowl. The 2024 Alabama football team basically needed a lot of luck, as we found out Tuesday. We needed a little bit of luck, not a whole lot, but a little bit of luck to get in the playoff rankings, to basically get in that top 12. Because we were outside looking in at 13. I don't think we're going to be on the outside looking in on Tuesday. We're in. And I think South Carolina's in because of that win over Clemson, but Tennessee clinched a spot in the playoffs, and everything all depends on Texas A&M. We don't know what's going to happen there yet because it hasn't started, but that's another time for another day. Last night's Georgia Tech matchup in the 2024 edition of Clean Old Fashioned Hate, that was wild. That was wild votes. But back to the Auburn game. Man, we had a great day. A great day. I mean, not as good as we'd like it, but you know what? We'll take it. 20 touchdowns from Milroe for the season. That's pretty good. 4 turnovers. I mean, we can't be having games like that when we get in the playoffs. We cannot be playing like how we did against Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, and certainly against Tennessee. And when Ryan Williams fumbled, oh, thank you, Rough Rider. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And congrats to you on the Sooners getting back to bowl eligibility last week. I hope they beat those LSU Tigers tonight, Baton Rouge. But yeah, I was worried for a little bit in the first quarter when we saw Ryan Williams fumbling in the first quarter, and then Auburn recovers. I was like, oh no, are we gonna go back to having what we had last Saturday against Oklahoma and what we had against Vanderbilt this year? Fortunately, we didn't. That I can say I'm proud of. Our defense stepped up when we needed them to. Xavier Brown got an interception. Bray Hubbard got it. It was amazing today. Yeah, and it was funny, though. Auburn missed a field goal at one point today. It was just a bit outside. That was funny, though. So it helped us. Like, especially in the first quarter. Because, I mean, had they not missed the field goal after they forced a turnover on us, we'd have been in trouble. I mean, not quite as big as trouble as Ohio State, but still in trouble. It's a wild ride in Tuscaloosa. And everybody in the chat, tell me what your takeaways were from the game. Because I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say, because you are the people that make this happen, my friends. You're the people that made this happen. But what was your favorite play of the game? And what was your favorite moment from the 2024 edition of the Iron Bowl? That's what I'd like to know. My favorite was the interception from Auburn's trick play. It's like they ran out of their juicy juice. They ran out of it real quick. Couldn't trick us. And thank goodness there were not any shuffle passes. I was like, I've had it with the shuffle passes for this season. I mean, that's what got us big time. The interception. Was it the trip play interception or the other one later in the game? Because I gotta say, it was fun. 98 rushing yards from Auburn. And we had 6 penalties today. And Auburn has 6 penalties today. The first one, mine too. But I'm looking at the stats here. And we cannot have moments like this where we are having 6 penalties. And we did have a 66% range in third down conversion. So I mean that's a plus. That was a humongous plus. And again, you see old Milrow having a good day. Oh, Bernard having a good day as well. But for me, my player of the game was Jalen Milrow. And chat, you can come on in and tell us what you think. Yes, we did, Godfather. We did. We made them an offer that they couldn't refuse. We had a great day against them. And we're going to be back in the playoffs before we know it. We're just going to be sitting and chilling out for conference championship week. We can just relax. We can have fun. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Love it. I mean, I've got the Peanuts music playing. I've got all kinds of music playing right now. I'm excited. I am. I can't wait to see who we're going to play. It's going to be interesting to see who our opponent's going to be. I mean, who knows? It could be Ohio State. And from what we've seen of them, they don't have that much of an offense. I mean, really? You had plenty of opportunities to score against that Michigan defense, and you look bad. Oh, he is. Oh, yeah, he is. He's happy. He's going to be a happy camper tonight. Because not only with Alabama winning against Auburn today, but Indiana smacking Purdue off the face of the earth, he's going to be super thrilled. He is going to be so excited. We're there, dude. We are there, dude. And we did stop Auburn from getting to a ball game this year. So we'll be good to go there. And before I go over the rest of my takes on what happened in the 2024 edition of the Iron Bowl, you can come on in to shop on Amazon. Use this link down below to support the voice of college football. You don't need to buy the product displayed. It doesn't cost you a penny, and you get the same shopping experience. Click on the link down below. I know you're going to need something nice for Christmas, so come on in and shop on the Amazon link. You're going to get something cool. I know the wives, the mothers, the daughters, the guy, everybody. You're going to need something nice. I like something nice. You like something nice. We all like something nice. That's why you come on into the Amazon link for the voice of college football. You not only help the voice of college football, you help yourself as well, because you're going to get something cool and you get a little something out of it, friends. And of course, for Monday's edition of Crimson Tide Live, we will be going over, like Johnny and I will be going over quite a lot, what we need to be working on after this Saturday. What things are looking like in Tuscaloosa, because they're pretty cool. We're happy. We're playing happy, joy. We're celebrating, but we got to see who we're playing first. Because Sunday, December 8th, next Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Time, is the day that counts. Because we'll find out who we're playing that. I mean, yeah, this Tuesday counts, but next Sunday is the date that really matters. It really matters. That is a day you want to keep an eye on. Because it's not what you know, it's what you don't know. Now, Miami is out of the ACC title game. And funny enough, even though Clemson lost today to South Carolina, they're still in the thick of things. Because if they beat SMU in the ACC title game, they basically get in. I don't think SMU is getting in as an at-large bid. I don't think they will. I think if the committee is having to choose between an at-large Alabama team and an at-large SMU team, I don't think SMU gets the benefit of the doubt. Nobody's really going to go, oh, well, you went 11-2. You did fine, kid. They're not going to do that. I don't think they have that same luxury as like a USC, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, Nebraska, Miami, Clemson, Florida State. They just don't. And it's sad to say for them, but that's just the God's honest truth. It is the God's honest truth, unfortunately. But as for us, we can really rely on our blue blood history. And I think that helps us get. Do I think you should get in based off your blue blood status? No. I think you should get in based off of this year and this year alone. I don't think you should be getting in based off of what you did 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago. But we're in this situation and this is how it goes. And I always tell people, and I always tell my buddy Austin, don't ever put yourself in a position where you need somebody to win or lose for you. But again, fortunately, the Syracuse Orange bailed us out against the Miami Hurricanes. We're good to go. We're good to go. We're in, kid. And boom. We are in. And it is going to be wild, wild, wild. We're going to be partying like rock stars because, I mean, we got that win over Auburn. I mean, we didn't get that win over Tennessee, but I mean, hey, it's something. We're the best in the state. And that's the way the news goes. We have got some awesomeness heading our way. Oh, there you go. You're eating a buzzard. There you go. Well, we got some leftover turkey and leftover ham and stuffing, so that's always a good Thanksgiving treat to have. Yes, he will. He will indeed. We'll definitely be excited on the final whistle. Yeah, I mean, especially with Kentucky getting smacked like they did, it's just so funny. And of course, we'll be covering a lot about our take on Gus Malzahn leaving the Central Florida head coaching position for the offensive coordinator position for Florida State, which, I mean, I'm not going to go over it here, but I'm going to go over it on the final whistle, my channel and Austin's channel as well. He is definitely happy. But yeah, 5 straight wins in the series history. Not a single win for Auburn in the 2020s. Not a single win. 0, zilch, nothing. If you want to call in and give your take on the 2024 edition, you can if you want. So, because I'm going to put the link here in the chat. You can talk to me about what's been going on with the Iron Bowl. What's your take? You can tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong, or indifferent. You decide. You come on in and tell me. I welcome everybody. Roll Tide, roll Davy. Let's go. Happy man tonight. We got ourselves a win, a much, much needed win. But yeah, it's funny though. Like Auburn had a good passing game today, and I guess the momentum from Texas A&M ran out. It ran out big time because they weren't going to have it. Oh man. But yeah, that's a nice list to share with. Harold Red Drew, Terry Bowden, Malzahn Stallings. I mean, Red Drew and Stallings are nice. Terry Bowden's a pretty cool list, but I mean, Franchione and Malzahn, I don't think I'd be too proud sharing a list with those two, but that's just me now. And again, Coach DeBoer got his first Iron Bowl win in his first season. That's huge. Mm-mm-mm. So we are in. And before I go, and it looks like we're going to be a few minutes away from kicking off Texas A&M and another wild lineup, as we're going to have Oregon Washington. But first, you can come on in and check out Alabama at the Voice of College Football on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Audible. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Johnny Burtz and I are creating on Alabama at the Voice of College Football Monday nights, right Monday afternoon, 5 p.m. Central Time, right here on the Voice of College Football. And you can check me out with Johnny or Jeffrey on the Alabama postgame show. With the exception of today, you can also check out the Alabama Auburn postgame show. I mean, if you don't have time to check it out live, that's okay. That's what reruns are for. You can check it out on Spotify. You can check it out on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, everything, everywhere you listen to your podcast to. And don't forget to tell the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Jeffrey and I are creating on the Alabama Call-In Show every Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where we take your calls. We don't care that you're an Alabama fan or not an Alabama fan. We want you to come on in and give your takes on Alabama football. Good, bad, or ugly. We don't care. We don't care what we don't care if you agree with us or disagree with us. We want to hear your takes. And we'd love to hear them. Yeah. And with that being said, in a little bit, I'm gonna get on out of here and get ready for a little bit of Texas A&M. And you'll definitely love the lineup that's going to be on at the Voice College Football, where you will have the Oregon postgame show from Spaz and Ben, Gerald Goodridge, and Matthew Miller on the Texas A&M postgame show, the Smith couple on the Oklahoma postgame show, and of course, you're going to have the postgame call-in show tonight on the Voice College Football, where Mark Rogers takes your calls. This is going to be a fun one for sure. And don't forget to tell people about Ole Miss at the Voice College Football, about the magic that Leanne Herring, Ruby Dwyer, and Mark Rogers bring out on Ole Miss at the Voice College Football every Wednesdays. Usually it would have been Wednesday this week, but it wasn't for, well, obvious reasons, for Thanksgiving week. But it was a wild one, because they went over quite a lot about their take on the Egg Bowl. And it was a fun one. And of course, you can come on in and become a YouTube member on Alabama at the Voice College Football, where you can get some of the top-notch takes on Alabama football. And you can see wonderful shows as well, like earlier this week on Monday, where we had Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama and Kyle Loomis from E2C Network, joining Johnny and myself to discuss the preview of the Alabama-Auburn matchup and our favorite Iron Bowls of not just our lifetimes, but throughout the whole history. And with that, I will send you on your way. Y'all be safe. Stay warm. It's cold out. Here's a little clip from Mark Rogers and friends discussing voice college football bets. Good night, everybody.
College football is even more exciting with some action on the line. And the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Let's start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread. I've got a 40-year track record. In fact, in 2023, at $100 played per game, you would have netted over $9,300. And guess what? I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill, our ace in the hole, show stopper from Wager Talk. 6 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick, which went 21-5 against the spread the last 2 seasons. I repeat, 21-5 against the spread. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Steve Dace and Matt Zemek. Become a YouTube channel member or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2024 a winner now.